Hey, it's The Average Dan and welcome to another video. This channel is all about RV camping, how-tos, maintenance, and the general camping experience. Well, you know, if you have a travel trailer, just as important as taking care of your trailer is taking care of the vehicle that tows it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do an oil change on a Ford Expedition. Let's get started. Alright, so if you've seen any of my previous videos, you've probably picked up on the fact that I like to do as much on my own without having to rely on a repair person or bringing the vehicle to a dealership that's going to charge you a lot more money than you could do on your own. So in order to take care of this oil change in the comfort of my own home on my own property, I went with these Rhino Gear Rhino ramps. They're excellent for something like an oil change, gives you a little bit of an angle to drain the oil, and gives you just enough clearance to get under there and do what you have to do. If you're interested in something like this, I will throw a link to them down in the description below. They are something that I picked up on Amazon because, you know, I love Amazon, and I buy most of the stuff that I use on Amazon whenever possible, so you can check those out down there. But I have them up on the ramps. Always be sure, these things are rated for thousands of pounds, but I like to be super cautious. In addition to putting these up on the ramps, I also put up jack stands underneath the frame of the car to make sure that we are super safe, because we don't want to rely on a single point of failure to ruin our day. Alright, now pardon the shaky camera, but in order to get in some of these places, sometimes you just gotta freehand it. So we are under the front of the vehicle. You can see that is the bug-ridden grill. And then we are looking basically directly up. And you'll see to the right-hand side of the engine is the oil filter. Now, of course, we want to drain all the oil out first before we tackle this, but I just wanted to show you the placement here, and we'll move on. We'll drain it and get in here and remove this one and put the new one in place. All right, so to drain the oil, I'm going to use this nifty thing. This particular one is called Flow Tool. I didn't actually get this on Amazon, but I am sure there is an equivalent on Amazon, so I will throw a link in the description to something very similar, unless I can find the exact one. It's made in the USA, which is even better. And hopefully we'll be able to find this exact match on Amazon and share a link with you. But it's really cool because it is a drain pan. There's a little red plug that goes in that hole. You take it out, you put it under when you drain it, and then you tip that up and put the cap back on, and you have it already stored in a container, which is fantastic. And it even has a place for you to set the drain filter over there, and a little raised thing to put the cap on so you don't misplace that as well. So everything is good to go, and now we're going to do the dirty part, which is slide up under this car and drain the oil. All right, so pretty much even with the back side of the front wheels, you will find the drain plug pretty much centered in the vehicle. You just want to loosen that, being sure to have your container in place. Make sure you offset it a little bit towards the back, because the initial flow of this will kind of project that out a ways, so you want to make sure you don't overshoot your container. But now we're going to loosen that and drain it, then move on. Alright, I'm using a 5/8 inch socket. Seems to fit on there nicely. Not gonna lie, that thing was a little hard to break. Definitely took two hands. So now that it's broken, you just want to be sure as you start to loosen this that you get your hands out of the way so you're not wearing oil. But you'll start to see it start to drip out. You just want to keep your hand off to the side and not below it, and hopefully you can dodge the bullet. Oh, and it's right on my arm, because why wouldn't it be? And there we go. This oil's slightly overdue for changing, so I'm sure it'll be nice and black. Alright, so once the oil is pretty much down to a slow drip, you can return the plug. And let's see if I can pull this off while filming it. Get that boy in there. You don't want to go too tight on this, you just want to snug it up. So we got that in place. I'll just tighten that up a little bit, and then we will remove the filter. Now to remove the oil filter. Make sure you have your pan generally centered under that to catch anything that might leak out. All right, so I was able to loosen this by hand, and as you can see, it's draining out here. We're gonna let that drain. I would probably recommend using a filter wrench, you know, the kind that comes straight over the top. That's kind of how its axis is, but I was already laying on my back, so I just decided to muscle it loose with my hands. But once you break it, or once you get that initial tighten off of it, it does come off by hand. So we're going to, as you can see now, it's very loose. It's just that initial, just breaking the seal that requires a little bit of two-handed oomph. As soon as this has stopped leaking, we're going to take that off and replace it with the new one. All right, so there's what it looks like without the filter. The one thing you want to make sure, and I've had this happen before and it really sucks, is there is a seal ring on the outside of the filter. You want to make sure that that doesn't get stuck on this ring, because if it does and you put the new filter on it, there's going to be a gap there even after it's tight, and all your oil is going to drain onto the ground, which really sucks. So make sure that is not present from the old filter, and then go ahead and clean this surface with a cloth or something before you actually put the new filter on. Okay, we have that surface nice and clean. We're going to put the new filter on. All right, so the filter that I'm removing is a CarQuest R85372, and I am replacing it with a Fram ToughGuard TG2. I like these because they have the grip on the end. It's really nice to put them on by hand. So just take a little bit of oil and run it around the seal there before you put it on, and then it'll screw in tight by hand. Once it feels tight, you go another quarter turn and you should be good to go. All right, so you basically just hold it loosely in your hand while you center up that middle and start rotating it until the teeth catch. And then once you do, it's very easy to get it on. And once you feel it get tight and make contact, go another quarter turn, and you should be good to go. When in doubt, read the instructions. In this case, it actually says to go 3/4 of a turn to 1 turn after you initially feel the seal make contact. So we're going to turn this about another half turn just to make sure it's properly seated. All right, so the important thing to remember when doing these types of projects at home is that dirt don't hurt, and it's a lot cheaper than having somebody else do it for you. So now we just need to fill this bad boy back up with the proper amount of oil, and we'll be good to go. So on the 2007 Ford Expedition, this vehicle takes 7 quarts of 5W20. Here's a life hack. When your funnel runs off, just curl the end of a paper plate, throw some tape around it, cut the point off, and you have a makeshift funnel. Put the top back on. Remember to take the jack stands out before you back up, because that would ruin your day. And then we will check the level and we'll be good to go. All right, so we just want to check the oil level and make sure it's within the allowable range. I'll usually take this out, clean it off completely once, put it back in, and then see what it reads. All the way down, bring that up, and now we'll see if I can show you this. Basically, it was just above the minimum fill, so I'll probably add a little bit more. I don't think I'll add another whole quart, just to put that mid-range. Well, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, or you're interested in future videos about all things RV camping, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that bell notification icon so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, campers, this is The Average Dan. Thank you.